Hey, here's Captain K. Ahoy, landlubbers, and welcome back to Factorio. I know it's been a while, but I'm happy to be back. There were a few issues I had with Factorio. As you can see, I've placed down this patch of concrete and I've grabbed all the material to build another, where are they here, rocket silo. And I might as well do that. But I was struggling, like, what should we do with this Let's Play? And, you know, it always felt a bit dull to scale this up to a mega base. I mean, we got the space down here. This is our starter base. Just to scale it up to do something like a rocket per minute. But then I found this up here. You can see SpaceX. We got SpaceX progress summary. We need to launch a couple of satellites to build a satellite network. But most importantly, if we look at the science, they're not the prettiest icons, but as you can see, this mod added a lot of depth to the whole thing. Because the end goal is that we want to escape from this planet with a faster than light drive. So in order to get there, we need to research a lot of stuff. We need space assembly, and look up here, it costs ridiculous amounts of science. So that's a reason to space up all of that science stuff. Then once we have that, we can start to build the space dry dock, which will cost even more science. And then down here we need casings, we need protection fields, fusion reactors, all of that stuff, thrusters. So yeah, that's gonna keep us busy for a while, and all of these things need a lot of resources. They mainly need a heck ton of science, but then also, as you can see, stuff like the command center needs low density structures, speed modules, and so on. And finally, the faster than light drive, it's 500 of each module. So yeah, it's gonna be fun, it's gonna keep us busy. So here I assume that we have to build all of that stuff and then send it up to space with rockets, and it's gonna get assembled in space. So for me, that is a reason to build a mega base, to be able to fulfill all of that stuff. Since I have no experience with this mod whatsoever, there's gonna be a lot of trial and error, and I hope you're gonna bear with me. But I'll try to keep things as streamlined and as YouTube friendly as possible. So let's see, if we have a look at the map, we got a lot of resources here. We will need to clear out some space for massive smelting and production setups. So we most likely will build all of that here, and with this little rail line down here to the wall. I don't know, maybe we'll have this peninsula here for the assembly of the rocket. That's our Cape Canaveral. And what we do with all of the science, I don't know yet. We're gonna need some space. I assume this is gonna be too small. Let's have a look at the scale. So this is our old science setup and the science production. So that's the footprint, and we need to multiply this by a lot. I don't know, maybe this is enough, maybe not. This could be enough for the rocket. Why don't we place the science? Well, I'll figure it out. Let me build a bit and I'll be right back. There we go. Now it is currently nighttime, but that doesn't matter because stuff is mainly visible on the map. So what I did is I started to sort of dissect this area here, complete that grid of tracks so train can whiz around here. And now I'm not so sure how I should set things up. I had a look at the mod, and stuff mainly needs well, low density structures. There is a lot of low density structures required, like almost every one of those pieces needs low density structure. Then of course also a bit of rocket fuel, so we're gonna need a huge oil cell for all of the plastic and that stuff, but also, as you could see here, the processing units, as well as here, like almost everything, especially this one, every portable fusion reactor, let's check on that, needs another 100 processing units, and we need 100 of those. That alone is 10,000 processing units. So we need a huge oil cell. We're gonna need a huge chip cell, and most likely I'm gonna build those here. How about we're gonna build the oil down here with the, maybe we can use this to unbarrel, and the chip cell, the processing units, and the modules that we're going to need later on up here. And then we will have this space for smelting. So let's see, can we build a big, massive smelting setup? So let me fiddle a bit, and I'll be right back. So here we are, back at our smelting setup, where I'm fiddling around so far. So I think now I've got it. This is the temporary blueprint. So I wanted a high throughput train station that upon unloading automatically balances stuff. Let's place this down for now. So this side should be good. Got the first and third wagon to combine in this line, and the second and the fourth on this side, so we need to get rid of that. That's from the other side. This here, I think I cut off too much here, yes, so we need blue belts here. This is from the other side, and so is all of that. There we go. And I need to delete this. So this should be tileable now. Let's remove that one again. And let's see, they're connected at the back here. Maybe I can also connect them here, right? Too bad that I deleted this now, but I hope it's here. Let's see. No, one further back. Here we go. Two from the belt, right? 1, 2. Yeah, that should be it. Alright, so let's create our definitive blueprint. There is one rail signal missing, and it's the one at the back here. Let's place it here, that should be good. Train station, another signal. Actually, I want this to be a chain signal. There we go. And yeah, that's it. So by alternating these splitters that are actually combiners, I think I managed to create the blueprint that is tileable. So let's give it a try. All of that. There we go. And that's our, what symbol should we use here? Well, let's just use that for now. So that is our unloading station, and it should be tileable like that. Beautiful. It looks like it's working. So let me remove all of that for now. There we go. And while the robots are doing their work, let's head over here. Let me put down some lights. There we go. So, I needed to build these tight enough together. That's why I did this zigzag pattern, so I can shove them together a bit more tight, because they need to line up with these. These are the ore belts, and the ore belts feed the smelting setup on both sides. Then stuff is being smelted, and the goal is that this, and this is also a tileable pattern that I have here, that this I'm gonna build this in such a length that it's gonna compress this middle blue belt to the fullest. So I can easily extend this by stacking up the stations, and each station supplies one of those setups, and each of those setups fully compresses a blue belt. So that's my approach on this Mega-Smelter, to have fully compressed blue belts to manage to get all of that stuff done here. So we need full throughput for all of the science and all of the modules, the processing unit and the low density structures. So before that, I'm gonna build a massive train stacker with the idea I don't want the chests to be full or buffered. They only need to last long enough for one train to leave and the next train to arrive, and I want the trains, the trains are the actual buffers, to be waiting in the stacker. So here we have we're gonna have a massive stacker where the trains are waiting. Come in here, unload, everything's been smelted, train passes out, next train comes in, so this one should be under constant load. So let me set up the actual smelting area now, and I'll be right back. So, and a couple of hours later, this is what I've built. As you can see to the left here, we have the train stacker. The stacker itself is stackable, so I can have as many trains waiting as I want. However, the first unloading station has only 2 trains waiting for it in line. Well, with 1 train here, that makes a total of 3 trains. That should be enough. And I'll probably have to build something here to block the signals, because I think they always take the shortest route, and that might be here, and then they will use the outer smelter first instead of the inner. Maybe that doesn't matter at all. Well, that's what it looks so far. And then it goes into the smelting. I finished a test setup up here for copper. So we have to get this copper patch out of the way. That's why I hooked it up to feed this first Mega-Smelter directly. But I also have a train waiting in line over there. Like here I have another copper patch that needs to get out of the way. So here's the train waiting to test this setup. I want to see if it can unload all of this fast enough, for how long this can provide a fully saturated blue belt. And for that I need to hook it up. There we go, like this, and that. Later we're gonna hook this up directly and build a second station, and the trains will feed the second station, and the first station will rely entirely on the copper patch until it's gone. So once the train arrives, I want to see if this one is saturated, and then I'm also curious how well this smelting setup performs. It's fully loaded with speed modules. Actually, on this side I could add another row of beacons, and then I want to see, but I leave it like this so far because I want to see whether or not they can use up all of the ore on the belt, or if we get ore back here. And I of course also want to see whether or not all of these furnaces manage to fully compress this belt. Place down a few steel chests. This won't last for long, but this is more or less how the setup is going to look like, and later on from here we will load it back into trains that then deliver it to our assembly cells. So here's the train waiting. Let's fire it up and see what happens. So heading to the station. There he comes. Beautiful. So this manages to fully compress the belt. And now the smelting. Is there something wrong with the bottom belt? I can't see this one. Ooh, was faced the wrong way around. But yeah, this manages to fully compress one lane. And let's turn off the overlay. Yeah, it like the bottom lane goes to the last furnace, the top lane stops around here, so these two flicker on and off. That means that is the max. It never reaches this one. Beautiful. So this is gonna be the footprint then. This is gonna be my stamp. I can't make this any longer, obviously. Let's remove that. And yeah, so this is the footprint. This is the stamp. All of this. If I need more compressed lines, I simply duplicate this all the way up, and that should provide enough material for our super duper mega base. And now we need to load all of that material into the trains that's gonna deliver it to the assembly cells. And for this I've built two setups that I'm gonna test. The lower one divides the input into 4 equal amounts that are then being loaded with the smart loading setup, and the excess loops around is being combined again and evenly divided again. And the question is whether or not this one loads faster and or gives a better distribution than this massive smart loader setup where all of the inserters and chests are chained together to this arithmetic combinator. And in order to test that and to see which one finishes earlier, I've set up 2 iron chests full of plates that I'm gonna switch on with this. Then we're gonna observe what happens and which row has loaded faster, which one stops sooner, and if it makes any difference or not. Because if it doesn't, or if this setup is equally good, I preferably gonna use that one because it has a lot smaller footprint. We'll see. So let's start it up and see what happens. There we go. The plates are flowing, and this one takes a little longer until the plates made their way all through the belts. This one is filling up gradually from the beginning to the end, and this one, well, the last chest from here, and I think due to the belt length, last chest here filled up roughly at the same time, so I'd say it's a tie. Now let's see, the first chest has 39, this one has 18, this one has only 3, while this one has 27. So here, as to expect, we have in the beginning a slight imbalance, but we also do have a little imbalance down here, although I should count the total per wagon, so that's around 300. Same here, same here, same here. Well, this is a bit hard to count, but over time it balances out. So let's run this a bit and see what happens. And it has finished. And I'd say again, it's sort of a tie, except for probably the biggest differentiator. The top one was finished a little sooner because we didn't lose time for the plates moving around the belt. And also this one needs a lot less resources to construct, but it works equally as nice. So now the distribution here is good enough, I say. There is no big difference to the distribution down there. So the smart inserter setup it is, and as this test has proven, you can really scale this up and it'll still work. Yes, there will be an imbalance at the beginning, but it'll equalize over time. And there we go. So this is the setup running right now. We've got the train delivering, we got the smelter, and we got loading stations. As you can see here, we still got the track of this copper patch in the way. I probably have to redo this, but you know, for now it works to load the train at least from one side. I will still have to finish up the loader, the train stacker, and most likely redo this. Here we got this copper patch in the way, but for now I think I can route this one just directly to this iron loader, so that'll work until this is gone. So we'll mainly feed on these patches that we have in the way. It's a lot of copper, but I think we're gonna need a lot of copper for all of the circuitry. But yeah, that's it so far, and I think that's all we've got time for today. Let's have a quick look at the map. So here we're gonna have the Mega-Smelter. This is one line right now of copper and of iron, and should we need more throughput, we're gonna stack them up. So we got a little space to go here. Let's see if that's enough. In the next episode, most likely we're gonna set up the oil rig down here with the loading and unloading of barrels here and the processing in this area. And depending on how much time all of that uses, this already used a couple of hours where I had to build this off camera. Then we're gonna set up the chip and module cell over here. So if you don't want to miss the next episode, make sure that you subscribe. If you like this episode, please let me know by hitting the like button. If you have any comments or suggestions, let me know in the comment section. Thanks for tuning in. Stay healthy, not as I am currently, and enjoy life despite everything. And whatever you do, make sure that you always got a hand's width of water on your keel. This is Captain Concept, and I'm out. Arrgh.